Sometimes you just need to reflect to remind yourself of just how far you've come.
A weekend gig at Perisher, Part 2. Calming anxiety and silencing fearful thoughts. The mental link between anxiety and tiredness is a strong one. The blackest of moments for me always showed up with both fear and brain-mushing exhaustion. Back then, compounded sleep debt from insomnia with zero mindfulness knowledge and a green understanding of what was happening inside biochemically was a pretty solid recipe for paralyzing anxiety. The work I've done over the last few years has revealed rationale for how I felt back then, but I guess my psyche wants a little more proof before it lays down its guns. It's natural for the mind to scan for threats. It's in our makeup. So it was no surprise to me when I felt the glory of the day's victory fade in the background whilst chilling with Kenny in the common area of the ski lodge. Tiredness was beginning to rain on my parade, and memories of trembling in the band room corner before stage started flashing across my mind, as if it was giving me insight into tomorrow's performance. Caught you, motherfucker. Seeing that thought just as it is, and knowing it's not a glimpse of the crystal ball kept me from being swept up. The rest was all about bringing in a bit of self-compassion to the situation. I'd say to myself, dude, it's all good. It's all part of the process of getting back on the horse. Of course, there are going to be some worries and hot emotions. Now, don't get me wrong, I had some great moments hanging with my best mate, and the contentment was still there, but it moved in waves. Whilst I didn't get snagged, the whole process of compartmentalizing thoughts that accompanied strong memory-based emotion was weighing me down. It's still new to me, and it isn't second nature yet. I went to bed. I'm all too familiar with insomnia. Whilst it's not all that common these days, 3 years of it with no sleeping pills makes you pretty good at managing it mentally and emotionally. I hit the sack at 11 p.m. and giggled to myself as my buzzing body and relentless monkey mind saw 3 a.m. on the clock. My old friend, it's been a while. I'm pretty sure the encounters with my inner Gollum and Smeagol went something like this. Okay, breaking the story, it's much easier to write this stuff than it is to read. Like, I'm no good at voices, and just looking ahead, I can't believe that this is how I spoke to myself. It's just nuts. Okay, you're gonna be fucked tomorrow. You'll be so tired and anxious that you won't even be able to get out of your room. And I'd reply, thanks for your repetitive concerns, but that's not what's happening right now. Right now it's quiet, snowing outside, and I'm lying in a nice warm bed. I've been in worse situations. Good night. Yeah, but soon you're going to have to get up and deal with a whole heap of people you don't know with a mushy mind full of loony thoughts. You won't be able to eat because you're so nervous and you're stuck here on this mountain until Sunday. You'll bail playing on stage. Insomnia will stack up. You'll consequently be so weak and depressed and anxious that you won't even be able to drive home. A family member will have to fly down to Cooma Airport to drive you and your car back. You'll be delivered home to your family looking like a corpse. Is that a chest pain? Yeah, you're probably about to have a heart attack. No one's going to hear. You're going to fucking die. Yeah. Heard it all before. Bring on the heart attack. Give me what you got, baby. If that's my fate, no point worrying about it. I'll still enjoy my bed. You're a douche. Goodbye. All that, all night. Welcoming fearful thoughts is one of the most powerful techniques I've learned. The only thing that keeps fear alive is resistance. Resistance just gives more for the worrying mind to use on us. As soon as you say, cool, bring it on, it's left with nothing to do. Why? Because its power doesn't go beyond thought. It can't turn the skies black. It can't make the mountains crumble. It can only use the imagination. And we know that imagination is no crystal ball. Its only means of manifesting these situations is by triggering emotions and physical sensations. But we have to believe it before that can happen. Still awake at 4 a.m., I took a good look at the situation and reminded myself of my goals. I came down here to get out of my comfort zone and gig, not to go back as a boiled and born-again human. I assessed the possible challenges, prioritized, and decided that dealing with insomnia was for another trip. I was happy that I did the mental work to stay grounded. That was victory enough. What was left was contentment in a buzzing body that was never going to let up and surrender to slumber. I popped a sleeping pill. I was cool about it. I opened my eyes 4 hours later as me of the past. Alone, struggling, overwhelmed, I was withdrawn, exhausted, and low on willpower. Already with the fucking anticipatory self-doubting stories. I focused on my breath and environment to ground myself. After 5 minutes, the concerns were still there, but not taking up all of my focus. This is why morning routines are so damn important. I got up out of bed, looked out the window to see an ice-cold amusement park of soft white powder, blue skies, and I really took it in. It was so difficult not to feel a little bit lighter. It's pretty awesome. In the mornings, I do a bit of qigong or general stretches for around 15 to 20 minutes. The object is to try and focus on the breath and general physical sensations. Each time the mind goes wandering, I gently bring it back to the point of focus, knowing that it's all a natural part of the process, no matter how hot the thoughts are. I follow it up with a meditation, but this time I tried something a little bit different. It's a little cliche, but it's said that we have all the wisdom that we need within to face each moment as it presents itself. There's just often many layers of thought, emotions, and other patterns that get in the way. So I decided to test the theory. I spent the first 10 minutes of the meditation focused on my body whilst watching my thoughts roll by. I then brought to mind a wise figure, which will remain unnamed, and don't freak out, it's not going to get all hippy-dippy. And I simply put a question to it, and here are the answers that popped up. I was blown away. I didn't think I had this in me. 1. First, respect that this is part of the process of stepping out of the comfort zone. Allow for it and don't put any more thought into it. Nothing is going wrong. 2. Focus, anchor to the things that matter. Focus out the things that don't. What matters right now? Family, playing music, being here in the moment. Keep it simple. 3. Right now, resistance is showing you what doesn't work anymore. Maybe the things that used to excite you don't because you've changed and not because you're depressed. Instead of trying to resuscitate the joys of the past, focus on finding new ones. 4. Be you. Don't try to be anything more. I woke up from that meditation as if a cold and heavy iron suit had been lifted from my body. The veil over my eyes was removed, and the warmth of my new purposeful forethoughts opened me right up. The fears were still there, but they now resembled an overdramatic little kid. I couldn't help but smile at the pickle I got myself out of, mind you, one that was never there. Now, to take on something a little more real, moving trees of the ski slopes, as a fan put it, for the first time since I was 10. And just like leaving my boy yesterday, it felt relieving to now be dealing with a challenge that seems justified. Numbness was now replaced with a grounded excitement. Bring it on.